Good Nacht. It is Motzei Shabbos. It is November 23rd, I believe, 2024. We have a very dynamic weather pattern change taking place this week. Right now on the screen, you'll see that we have a major winter storm, which will be developing later on in the week. This is for pretty much Wednesday onward, where you'll see high snowfall totals, tells us the European computer model. And on the screen here, you'll see that from Wednesday, 8 a.m., the 4-day snowfall total forecasted from Wednesday, 8 a.m., all the way through Sunday, 8 a.m., but most of that would be falling on the Thursday, Friday period. For South Bend, Indiana, 14.3 inches of snow. And in the Chicago area, we have portions in South Chicago getting close to 6 inches of snow. Tinley Park, south side of Chicago, 5.3 inches of snow. But for areas near the lake, snowfall totals are only about 2 inches. Over here, you'll see 1.7, 1.8 inches. But really, it's closer to 2 inches if we were to play around with the timing of the model just a little bit. So what we have going on, we're going to take a bigger close-up to see what exactly is going on, what type of storm, what's causing this snow, where is it right now. You go all the way back right now, you go into the Gulf of Alaska. This is where our Thursday storm is right now. Gulf of Alaska right now, it's at 29.26. in the Gulf of Alaska. Now it's 29.49. It's not even in the Gulf of Alaska yet. The storm in front of it is the one that's going to be first hitting our area here in the Midwest. That's right now in Colorado. Earlier today, it was in Montana. So that one is going to be responsible for bringing the very cold air here into the Midwest. By the time you hit Tuesday, and that one moves across the Midwest, moves across the state of Illinois at a 29.8 Monday morning. It does bring some rain into our area on the day on Monday as the front passes. The main snow remains up to the north, up in Minnesota, southern portions of Canada as well. And as we go through the day Monday, that high pressure, as you can see, centered right over the southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma border, that area of 30.4 high pressure, very cold high pressure, that moves into our area on Tuesday, bringing much colder temperatures. If we look at the temperature chart, you'll just see the temperatures are much, much colder. And you see right here, 33 degrees, 11 a.m. in Chicago Tuesday, and only recovering into the mid and upper 30s for Tuesday afternoon in Chicago. And realize this is November. It's not even winter yet. And we're not even going to have any snow on the ground. So, but yet still high temperatures in the 30s. That might be the first day this year. I think we may have had one other day where the temperature stayed under 40, but this could very well be the first or maybe the second day this year, certainly without snow, where the temperature remains under 30. This does have Arctic origins to it, but it's going to get much colder than that as we go through the week. So here we have Tuesday, Wednesday, those temperatures. You see we're in the mid 30s. That's the Wednesday temperatures. And then we have a second storm system that approaches. That storm system is over in Oklahoma Wednesday, 1 p.m. at a 29.5 inch low. We go early morning Wednesday. The thing is still in Colorado at 29.7. So the thing is, in a certain way, intensifying at least a half a millibar per hour. Sometimes it's 1 MB per hour, but by the time you hit 1 p.m. Wednesday, we have it going into the state of Oklahoma. We go to 1 a.m. Thursday. That low pressure system has now centered itself over the southern portions of Indiana and the border of Kentucky and Indiana. It's wrapping around really cold temperatures on the backside, as you can see on the map. That's the storm system that currently is in the Gulf of Alaska. And this is also the system that will bring significant snow to portions of the Midwest, especially the northern portions of Indiana. Now, if you look at the map over here, it seems pretty clear that Chicago is solidly in the snow part of the storm. You'll see the rain-snow line goes right through Indianapolis, Indiana. It's actually just to the north of Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where you seem to get the heavy snow. South Bend is probably going to get hit the hardest, at least at this point. But when you look at the map, just briefly, superficially, you'll see that Chicago is in the snow thing. But if you actually blow it up to look at it more carefully, you'll see Chicago is actually not in the snow thing, and it's actually the snow remains to the west suburbs, the south suburbs, all the other suburbs, but areas near the lake That's why you see the winds are coming right off the lake. The lake water temperature remains in the low 50s, according to the windy.com, which we could look at. And you could look at right now. Go to the waves in the sea and go to the water temperature over here, and you'll see 51 degrees. That's what it shows here. 52 degrees could always get a more accurate picture if we were to use the National Weather Service to get a more accurate temperature. But that's what we have there now. So it brings rain to the area. What you also want to see is that we just looked at was the European computer model for the Midwest, the European computer model for the storm track. But there's another way to look at the storm track. That's the GFS. The easiest way to figure out what the storm track would be to take the GFS and then to look at rainfall accumulations across the United States for this week, for the next 8 days. And that pretty much gives you an idea of where the storm track is going to be as well. So you see, it's taking a much more southern storm. Both of them have the storm starting off in Oklahoma. When you go on Wednesday, we said, so this one has it initially a little bit even further east. It's also in the Texas Panhandle. Wednesday, 1 p.m., we have a 29.5. This is the GFS model. You go into 1 p.m. Thursday, and the thing is just moving east. It's pretty close to Memphis, Tennessee, right along Memphis, Tennessee. So it's taking a different storm track, probably about 200 miles apart. The other one was 200 miles north, that storm track, maybe even more. So, and then that goes to 29.5 as it moves into Virginia. It just takes a different storm track, and the rainfall accumulations that you see from this thing, that gives you an idea of what that storm track is. Notice the areas which are getting the heaviest precipitation throughout Tennessee, Virginia. That's all the GFS model. And if we were to go to the European computer model using the rainfall accumulations, you would get to see clearly how these rainfall amounts are pushed much further north. If you want to know what the QPF is going to be for the snowstorm here in Chicago, the snowstorm that will likely be falling is rain due to the lake, at least much of it. You'll see we're dealing with about 0.8 of 0.8 of an inch of precipitation. So if all of that would fall as snow, we'd be looking at perhaps 8 inches of snow or so. But unlike last week when the winds were from the west during the snowstorm, even though the moisture was coming from the lake, there was a lot of moisture coming from the lake, and that eventually actually turned the snow over to rain. The warmer air came in from the north in last week's snowstorm, which, by the way, the West Rogers Park area in Chicago actually got 4 solid inches of snow out of that system, and the O'Hare Airport only 2.9 inches. But it was the areas near the lake that received the highest amounts, with Evanston getting 4.2 inches. That was last week. That was a very unique situation for many reasons. But this week, we have the winds will be coming in off the lake as they usually are for a storm, and the lake water temperatures are just too warm. So last week we had an exception to the rule, so we don't anticipate that happening again. So this week we'll be seeing higher snowfall totals, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches, but that's for areas much further from the lake. In general, these types of storms, Chicago tends to end up with the 3 to 6 inch range, as you can see on the models over here. We go back to the snow model here, and we put in for the whole week. If you get the whole week, we go here, and you'll see these snowfall totals around Chicago in areas near the lake. It's between 1 and 2 inches or so. But if you go further from the lake, you'll see some, like Tinley Park, the southern portions of Chicago, you get up to 6 inches for this week. And in general, it looks like 3 to 6 inches would be the snowfall amounts for areas well away from the lake, with 1 to 3 inches for areas near the lake. That would be the snowfall totals for the week. If you zoom in on just Wednesday onward, we also see something similar. So that's the story. We also have a little system coming in Thursday night into Friday. That system could bring an additional inch or so. It could bring something through our area. If you get a little bit more of a close-up regarding that system. And we can also look to see a real close-up here of the forecast. That's Lincolnwood. This is for Lincolnwood. So we have the European computer model. Lincolnwood headed all the way out. We have some mild days coming up for the next couple of days. Temperatures in the low 50s. Tuesdays when the colder air moves in, high temperatures probably upper 30s. I know it says 40 degrees here. Probably upper 30s. We go into the snow thing starts more like Wednesday morning. It's on and off, but Wednesday morning, and it falls as rain here along the lake. So, but if we go to, let's say, if we can move it to, let's go to Elgin. If we were to just move it to Elgin over here and see what we get there. So you'll see the snow starts Wednesday, 6 a.m., and it's accumulating 1 to 3/10 of an inch per hour. And it really starts going, between 6 and 9 p.m., you get an inch. Every 3 hours, you're getting another inch. So over there, you're getting, 1, 2, 2.3, 3.7, 3.8. And then you have like a 3 to 4 inch storm after the rain comes Wednesday afternoon. You have a half an inch Wednesday morning, and then a 3 or 4 inch storm happening Wednesday night. And then the next, a little brief something happens early Friday morning. That's a northern stream system. The one for Friday morning, I think Chicago is going to get in on that one as well. And we have some really cold air coming in after that. So that's in Elgin. But while Elgin is getting hit with, we have it over there, Elgin's getting hit. This is midnight Wednesday night. But the Chicago area, as the snow pile is up there, in Elgin, about 4 inches. You go to the Chicago area, and it's hard to move the thing. Very hard to move the thing. I guess you go to the Chicago area here, and it is different. You go to Wednesday, and we see very little of it falling as snow. The very beginning, it starts off as 3/10 of an inch of snow. Then it changes over to rain, and then at the very end, 2/10 of an inch. We have that northern stream system coming in Friday night into early Shabbos morning. So we have these storm systems taking one track, the European computer model, the other one's GFS model. Major Arctic air comes in on the backside. Total storm accumulations 3 to 6 inches for areas far, far away from the lake. Snow accumulations an inch, maybe 2 inches for areas near the lake. That's what it's looking at right now with the northern stream system. Snowfall accumulations less than an inch, but a major winter weather pattern for this week, for the latter part of this week and the beginning part of next week. Thank you for listening. I wish everybody a wonderful day, and stay safe.